Hello and welcome. I'm recording this, my first proper video blog on this channel, in my brand new office. Check it out. I've got a whiteboard and a corkboard. Someone's doing all right for themselves. And also, so this is the brand new office and it is finally pretty much set up. There's probably a few adjustments that can be made, but the tech is in, the furniture's where we want it. We've got basically everything that's ours is here. We've done the test shoots just gone off last weekend. Where we shot some tabletop RPG stuff, as well as some board game stuff, just to test the space behind me. You can see in that room there, the space behind me, where we were able to set those things up and get the recording going. But yeah, so we've had a proper full recording test in here now, and we're pretty happy and pretty happy with how it went. Hopefully you see some of those videos soon, but as you can now see through the magic of editing, we had a 4-camera setup. So we had, for the RPG, we had 3 tables in a little triangle with 1 camera on each and a wide camera, and then for the board game we just had a 4-camera setup amongst the 5 players and the board. We recorded on 4 5D Mark IVs, all DSLRs set up around the room. Everyone was mic'd up with lapels, and we had a fairly simple lighting rig set up there. And then everything was run through the control board on this desk in the office, the room that I'm in right now. Filming was going on in there. Why did I do this very elaborate thing, you might ask, instead of just getting some webcams and recording with a few friends? The answer to that is layered. Firstly, because I can. A lot of things needed to fall into place to make this happen. We had to find this location. Almost exactly this is so perfect, it's insane. It takes us like a good year to find a space this good for what we wanted to do. And we just had a lot of spaces, either we couldn't afford them or they just weren't right for what we needed. And then we found this place, which is like a little godsend. It's just so perfect for what we want to do. The other part of that is that I work here. Okay, they wouldn't let me film inside, but basically it's a kit hire house. We hire out to television and independent film and everything else in between. I work in the sound department, but we have camera and grips and lighting and everything. Basically, we're an all factory, an all one-stop shop essentially. It's given me access to equipment and expertise. I can ask questions and test out and play with things, as well as get stuff out that I can then use, as you saw in that app, that 5D setup. And that's not something I would have been able to do without this job. Absolutely not. No chance in hell would I have been able to have organised that if I didn't work at that location. So that's the big factor. That's kind of the big one. The space and the equipment. So with those things out of the way, I wanted to make an actual play show because I want to tell stories. I enjoy playing games in general. But I didn't want to do it online. I didn't want to do it remotely. I wanted to do it in person only because I think that's more unique, more niche. Also, whilst I personally run games online, a little something is lost in that translation there, which I felt that we needed if we wanted to make a show that really told a story, and we needed that in-person connection. Luckily, I know a lot of actors, and performers, and gamers, and people who are all three, so dragging people in to help us out, as you've seen or you will have seen on those videos. So the setup was elaborate. But the thing about it is that once those two things are in position, it's pretty much solid. It's pretty much just good to go. You can just set up the cameras, we set up everything else, and basically we packed away anything that could potentially get damaged, but then everything else just stayed up and we were able to film all weekend on the same gear. Now, the weekend didn't go entirely smoothly. The Saturday had some issues. We had some audio issues.
Anytime any of us goes, babes, we'll know exactly what we're
know what happened.
Yeah. Anytime we play Fate after this, somebody will say babes.
Yeah.
We had some video issues.
This is what big do this. This is the show.
And we couldn't get the monitor to work. Here is me staring at a monitor, worrying why it doesn't work. Saturday was a litany of technical issues, but we've never done this before, and on the whole, most everything worked. We managed to just squeeze in a little bit of a recording, but it's kind of messy on the Saturday when we had planned to record a couple of things, but it was an ambitious shooting schedule, to be fair. And none of it was concrete, we weren't locked into anything. This is just a list of things we were going to try and shoot. And then Saturday night, very frazzled, very out of my mind, I went home and I read the manuals for everything. And now I've read all the manuals and I am become a god. So we came back Sunday morning and I was pretty sure I knew what had gone wrong. I made all the changes necessary, adjusted all the cameras, the monitor system, the Atom system, the Blackmagic system that we were using to filter everything out to, and it seemed to work. It wasn't 100% perfect, but we pretty much got what we needed to do. The monitor was working, the cameras were in focus, the sound quality was better. We pretty much solidly, Sunday was a reverse of Saturday. We fixed everything in the morning that went wrong on Saturday, and then Sunday was a smooth days of shooting where we shot a game of Nice Marines, run by Fiona from the What Am I Rolling podcast, as well as other things, links in the below, and then we played Treasure Island, a beautiful looking game of the players hunting for treasure, whilst one player plays Long John Silver, who's giving clues continually but trying to be vague because he wants to grab the treasure himself at the end. We're paying for drawing on the board. You'll see it's a really gorgeous game, and a lot of fun. But yeah, that Saturday was a necessary evil, I think, in a lot of ways. If we hadn't ironed out those problems, then we wouldn't have known things. And now we know stuff that we definitely need, that we were missing, things that we would do differently, the setup time and everything else. So yeah, it really helped a lot, even though the day itself was kind of a mess. It helped overall. And then, like I say, Sunday was so much the opposite. The recording couldn't have gone smoother on the Sunday. So the next plan is to upgrade our gear a little bit, go a little bit more complex with it, and attempt another shoot. This time probably a couple more board games. Maybe another TTRPG, I don't know. We've got some of those planned down the line, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I want to get a little bit more complicated, and get to a point where we can comfortably just sit down with the gear and record. Because as much as anything, we as a team are learning how to use the gear. So that's a big part of it as well. And once we can get to a comfortable setup where we can just are ready to go, we can just bring things in, set up for a day, have a few days of filming, and then pack down and we're good. So yeah, I'm back today to get a few pickup shots of the game, which we left on the table after we finished, to make sure that the cabling and things are all properly strapped down, make sure everything's wired in correctly and ready to go the next time. Just tidy up, because we kind of left in quite a hurry on Sunday. We pretty much shot Saturday, Sunday, and then the gear had to be back when I started work Monday morning at 9 a.m. So we were quite rushed out, to be fair. I would plan a little smoother transition next time, but you know, it is what it is. We had to do what you had to do, and then just kind of thinking about what's next, thinking and planning, and shooting this video. Obviously I've got to sit here and film this. Why don't I round this video off by changing the angle here and giving you a little bit of a look-see at what I'm working with. Whoa, you're over there now. What a shocking development. So you can see now, actually hopefully from watching these videos, one thing you'll notice is that my audio quality is pretty good, because as I mentioned, that is what I do. As much as I would like to be a writer full-time and be able to be a writer, audio is what I do. I work at the audio room at a kit hire house. I've been a sound recordist and a sound designer. I've generally done sound, so I have all my own, mostly my own sound gear. The camera gear we get out from my work, but the sound gear tends to be mine. This is my mixing desk that we had all the channels. We had all 5 channels plus another 3, actually another 6, but they had them split. Atmos kind of tracks recording all through this desk into my old, when I was a freelance sound recorder, my Tascam sound recorder, all running through there. We had the Blackmagic, the Atom Mini, which is also mine, which we've been using to monitor, and for when we live stream, we'll have this running through a web presenter as well, straight out into the hub that's on the other side of that room there. But yeah, this is all my gear, and obviously my Mac, it's just a Mac, doesn't do anything fancy. But yeah, this is all my own equipment that we have kind of wired in permanently now. This is all mobile, but the cabling and everything I've taped down, so the cables are just here, just to plug them in and we're ready to go. So the main hardware can come and be put somewhere safe, but everything else is just sort of just needs plugging in. And that's the ideal situation, because running cables, figuring out where you're going to run your cables is a pain in the ass. And you will see in a video that I recorded earlier of me taping down cables to the floor, and then the cables are just sat there ready to play. This is very exciting to a techie to just have cables sat that you can just plug in. It's going to be very boring, I imagine, to literally anybody else. But to a techie, like, oh, my cables are ready to go. I just have to bring the hardware in and plug it in. It's kind of exciting in a very sad way, right? I can be excited about that. One thing we forgot to do on the recording last weekend is have a photographer. It's a big mistake. We took our own photos, but you need a photographer. Photographers are undervalued on your shoot, just to be like documenting everything. It wouldn't even be quite nice to just have a behind the scenes kind of person as well, because when there's a million other things and you're putting out fires and having to do the recordings, you just don't have time to think of that sort of stuff. That just kind of falls by the wayside. It's one of those jobs that doesn't get done. Be like, yeah, social media, that's what we need. But yeah, we didn't do as much of it as we should have done. So we should have had somebody for that. So I'm going to work on that for next time. My hope is that some of this behind the scenes stuff is interesting. Like I said, this is not something that everyone's going to be able to do. I fully recognise that I have managed to. I mean, it's taken me years to get to this very privileged position of finding this space, and then having access to the equipment and making contacts and everything else. But I recognise it's not something that everyone's going to be able to do. So what I would really love to be able to do is to set the channel up, set the RP channel up, and then use what I have, what I can do to help other people make similar shows. Bring in, like I say, it's not going to be entirely focused on me or my games. I want to bring other people through to run games and to create other shows, multiple series of the show with other people, because I've got the facilities and I've got the equipment and I've got the some expertise, and I can bring that to other creative minds, who people who just want to tell stories or just want to play games and don't have all those other elements in place. I don't know, that's long term, that's miles down the road kind of plan. I just wanted to do a behind the scenes blog, because I want to keep trying to do this, because I think it will be interesting to see the evolution of this channel and the other channel and everything really. But yeah, no, thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. I keep saying that all the time because I'm just so paranoid that everything I do is terrible. Do like and subscribe to this channel. It's a brand new channel. Well, it is as of me recording this anyway. I haven't even made, as of recording this, I haven't even made the channel yet. I'm probably going to do that in a minute. Switch on the computer and I'll make the actual channel. That'll be shocking. And then the intro video and this video will go out, and it will be a wild time as things just kind of tumble out from there. It's going to be something else. It feels like once I've made the channel, it's sort of official and I can't back down. Even though I'm now renting this office and I got like tons of equipment out last week. Even though I had people coming in for like 2 days of shooting. Like I've done a lot of work, but it still doesn't feel like official. No going back until I've made the YouTube channel. But yeah, that's me. Like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, and yeah, follow me on their social medias. That's again links all below, and keep an eye out for more videos like this one and gaming stuff, and hopefully some filmmaking in the future, because the goal is not just to make game stuff. I'm not here just going like, oh, I want to make games. I want to make films. So part of what we're doing here is learning the equipment, learning what we can do, making the contacts, getting a group of people together who want to make films, short films, and ultimately bigger films and other things like that. That's still the goal. I still want to write and I still want to make films and I still want to do that. But I just love gaming. I'm a big, massive nerd. D&D is very big right now, as is gaming in general. So I want to do that because it's very doable within our means, as well as allowing a level of we can bring a level of complexity to it that a lot of people can't. That was a long outro. I've already said the like and subscribe things. I'll say again, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. The end.